Yay! Kitava drops Wanderlust. Upgrade. Probably not. There it is. 8 hours 30. I'll take that. There it is, the story of the Vial. I'm too scared to just stand there and melee him. I'll freaking die. So, at least more AoE and more LE damage. I know that fire exposure is rare, but what am I supposed to do? Guess first try, there's no way. Fire exposure. That was... Okay, I need to sell... I know this! Okay. Hey, this is 1 chaos. I thought it's gonna be more expensive, dude. Wait, there's a cold iron point not on my loot filter? What? What? Yo, what is this explosions, dude? What the fuck? Bring some jewels, anybody? What the fuck? What is this? Holy shit, man. Hey guys, and welcome to a new video. Today, I want to give you guys the update on now the Infernal Blow Ignite Elementalist. I did make the transition today, and things are looking okay. And I'm saying okay because it has not been the worst leak start that I had yet, and it is definitely not the best one either. So, as of right now, we do have a 6-link, which is like a corrupted 6-link chest that you can buy for like, I don't know, between 15 and 20 chaos. The rest, just like regular rare uniques. I did buy the Story of the Vial Sword that I needed for my Infernal Blow character, as well as the Diadem Dawn. So overall, I think the gear is looking decent. Okay, so what are my stats currently? Like 4k armor, res kept, 0 chaos res, so at least it's not negative. We are 100% spell suppression, so spell suppression kept on top of that. Jewel, or at least like passive tree, is like pretty much just a bunch of like levels, so no cluster jewels, no fancy jewels whatsoever, just like a rare jewel that I found somewhere with like some burning damage, cold resistance, and life, so nothing crazy. And overall, I'm gonna say, I do enjoy the character, but the only problem that I still have, that is a concern that I had even before the leak, when I talked about the build in specific, I said like, I still don't know why I would ever play a melee character over a caster character if they are technically doing the same. And I'm not talking about, yo, both are dealing damage and stuff, but when it comes to Ignite, EK Ignite, Wave of Conviction Ignite, Vortex Ignite, I don't know, any form of like, even like EA Ballista, like all these kind of like range Ignite characters versus a straight up melee character that has to go face to face to all the enemies to inflict an Ignite. And even if the melee build has more damage, or could technically have more damage, you're still getting into trouble because you kind of have to face tank enemies to get your damage on. We're not having the fast attack speed, so I need to get there, and I need to hit, in the best case scenarios, 6 times before I want to leave the monster alone to die from the Ignite, which would be the first 3 hits. The first Ruthless Blow will inflict a pretty big Ignite, and the 6th hit will also inflict a Ruthless Blow, but I'm also going to have the monster fully charged up with my Infernal Blow, making a massive explosion with Ruthless, which deals a ton of damage. But this is also a problem because if I get stunned within my animations and stuff like that, the charges might fall off, and then the Ruthless and Infernal Blow charge is not synced anymore, so maybe the 5th hit will then be a Ruthless Blow inflicting a good Ignite, but afterwards it will get replaced by a slightly better Ignite with the 6th stack of Infernal Blow, but you want to have them combined. So you see kind of the issue that you want to perfectly synchronize it. I'm not playing Controlled Destruction, at least Controlled Blaze, because I think it's kind of a waste, and I still like the Ruthless thingy more because it's like more consistent when it comes to that. So I know if I hit the monster at least 3 times, I'm gonna have a good Ignite on it. Currently my setup is Infernal Blow, ally damage with attacks, Ruthless support, Immolate, Ignite Proliferation, and Burning damage. So I would say we're gonna run a map showcase, and then I can talk about the upgrades that I did. This is a tier 10 Crimson Temple, and I'm currently being on 83 of 115, so all the white and yellow tier maps are cleared, and I did do 3 out of 4 laps. And the reason why I haven't done the Uber lap yet, which would be Shape Up the Storms, is exactly the reason that I just explained. If I would be something like EK Ignite, and I know, hey, I can kite the monster and inflict Ignites alongside the way and do like massive damage, that's one thing. But since I'm Infernal Blow, since I'm a melee character now, I'm not sure if I can tank Izaro, so I need to hit him, you know, to inflict the Ignites. So I'm always getting into the melee position where I just get my ass slammed pretty hard, and that's why I don't want to risk it or waste my time with it. But anyways, for the map showcase, classic Infernal Blow, here's even like a Mirror of Delirium, so maybe we get an Apothecary card, which would be something new in this game, because honestly, I don't know how many thousands of Crimson Temples and Defiled Cathedrals did I run or ran in the past, let's say 4 leagues, 5 leagues, until they introduced the Mageblood Divination card. I found one single card in the start of the league and no other card ever since. You know, I'm the typical Alk and Go gamer. I'm usually not really choosing my maps too hard, or not even at all. And what that means is that with this classical, you know, I don't care, I just want to Alk and Go, and maybe we get a lucky drop, not working, okay? So I don't know if I want to get myself into another league of like Apothecary farms, if most likely it's not gonna happen anyways. But in the other hand, why would you not farm in a mapping environment where you could technically, under weird circumstances, be able to gain one of these like beautiful cards that sell for quite a bunch of the divines, right? But yeah, so Infernal Blow, as I said, if you want to have like the good damage, you need to stick to a target. In the mapping scenario, it's not really a big issue, because you're just jumping into the monsters and just like hit 1 or twice, and then stuff is just gonna explode. And the better you gear, the stronger or the easier it's gonna get, right? This like Ruthless Blows, or let's say, oh shit, there was like a boss spawning. Surely this is gonna be the reason why I don't like this, right? So if you're a boss, I'm gonna set up everything and I'm gonna start hitting, ramping up my Ignites. Did I just kill this guy? Defeat the Huh? What was... There is no way I killed like this Omniphobia dude within like 2 seconds or so. Huh. I don't know, I have to watch the replay. That was way too fast. I don't think that I have that much damage. I mean, if the Ignites are ramping, if I, as I said, have this like Ruthless 5 or 6 stacks Infernal Blow explosion, it is really a huge DPS. And you definitely see that when you actually hit a monster that lives for longer, that in the start it burns for a little bit, then it starts to burn for more because of the first Ruthless hit, but once you actually be able to get this like 6 stacks double Ruthless Blow, or at least second Ruthless Blow, then you actually see that the stuff is like melting. But as I say again, I could do the same with like EK, for example. So let's still, I want to clear the entire map because, you know, potentially Apothecary card, I mean, it should be able to drop, right? It's a monster level 77. I think you need 75 in order to drop the card. I'm not sure, might be 80, I don't know, it doesn't really matter. We're still gonna clear the map so you guys have a little bit more of a showcase. When it comes to the auras, I currently have Precision, Vitality, determination and anger, because in PoE wise, anger, at least when I swapped to it, did more damage than malevolence because of the flat damage. We don't have a lot of flat damage, but we have a lot of like more damage multipliers. So let's make a safety portal. You never know what's gonna happen in the last part in this like specific room where there's like a bazillion monsters. Visually or clearing wise, I think it's pretty good. Herald of Ash might make it like a little bit more beautiful or better, but it's not necessary, or at least we don't really have the space for it. So I'm just hitting the monsters, ignites are on. I can like cover enemies in Ash with an Infernal Cry, and that is it. So, as I said, the build works. It's definitely not the worst build that I've played so far, but definitely not the best either. Good. When it comes to the Atlas passive tree, let's take a look at this one. I made exactly the way that I said it in the previous videos. So means I went first for shaping the mountains, took the gateway, went down here to the shaping the skies, then went down here, blocked all elite mechanics besides Delirium, and after that I went up here taking the shaping the world, as well as all these like map drop enhancing stuff, plus the Kirak offers, because it helps for clearing the early maps. Then I went into the shrine nodes over here, and on the bottom side, and once I've done that, I went into Stream of Consciousness, so I have higher chance of getting the leak content, which is most likely going to be Delirious, and then I started to spec into Delirium, and now I have like almost everything, and now I'm traveling around here into the other parts of Delirium, and then probably finally going to skill for the Searing Exile or the Eater of Worlds, depending on what I'm feeling like. So this is my Atlas passive tree. The POB is in the description below. And let's talk about the league mechanic real quick. So after revamping this character, I did do another attempt, and I actually made it into the final, so it felt like a lot better to do, but I still can see like range builds being a lot better at this specific league content, because if I think about Stonebrand or EK Ignite or any form of like tornado shot or any range ability, I could just stand in the middle and just fire away and kill like multiple of these totem dudes at once. And with my build, you know, I have to go over there. My Ancestral Call helps a little bit to kill off or at least like maybe fight 2 or 3 monsters at the same time. But as I said, I don't see a reason why would you ever play melee in Path of Exile. Like, honestly, unless you have like a dedicated boss carry, but then still there's like probably a mine build that is like a lot stronger. Anyways, I did crash 2 times, and this threw me out of the tournament in the grand finals. That pissed me off quite heavily. So I don't know how good it is. I just need to play this league mechanic more often, and I hope my PC or my game doesn't crash, so I can actually get some of the results going and actually finally finish one of these tournaments to see what the second tournament, the third tournament looks like. Is it going to get harder? What about the rewards, and so on and so forth. I played a little bit around with the favors, you know, recruiting some of the other tribes that fight for me and stuff like that. But, you know, at the moment, for me, it feels like it's fun for some reason, but it feels like a waste of time when it comes to currency. Because what did I get in my entire tournament, even though I couldn't finish it because of the last one, but the last one was 15k, like 15 chance orbs. Before that, I had like 1 to 2 or 2 to 2s that are like kind of random, and I think 1 chaos orb. You know, but the overall time that it took to finish this tournament, or close to finishing it, I could have ran probably 10 or 15 maps, and I'm pretty sure I would have made a lot more currency with like yellow tier maps without any like leak content than I did with the tournament. I might be wrong. I hope that I'm gonna be wrong once I investigate further, once my build is like more stable and I can like safely do all of these like leak content. Good. We talked about the build with the map showcase. Upgrade path. What did I do? The first thing that I've done was buying the Story of the Val. I got mine for 30 chaos pretty early today, because I had a lucky Divine Orb drop while being in Act 10, I think. And then I started to invest into my character. So I had like a total of like 100 chaos or something like that. So I got this for like 30 chaos. I bought a Corrupted 6-link with the right colors that I needed at this point. And then I started to buy rare items, all of them life resistance and spell suppression. So all of them have life resistance, spell suppression, and I think the majority was about 3 to 5 chaos per piece. The belt I think I got for 40 chaos or 30 chaos, something like that. And then the last couple chaos that I had at this point, I decided to buy some of the Eldritch currency because, first of all, if I get one additional strike nearby enemies, I think that was the, let me see, that is Searing Exarch. I knew I can replace my Ancestor Call and go for example, early damage with attacks, means I get more damage overall. The more important thing is the fire exposure, which I luckily hit on the first try, which is very weird, but hey, sometimes lucky, I guess. And why is this so important for Elementalist? Wave of Conviction does have a built-in exposure, but the thing is, with Elementalist, this note here, exposures you inflict apply an extra 25, okay? The other, like, what is it, the Fire Mastery over here, fire exposure you inflict applies an extra 5%. So these two combined is minus 30 or 30 extra minus fire res. But the problem is, if you don't inflict exposure, this is like nothing, right? So you need a form of inflicting exposure, and I said, wait a second, if I get fire exposure as the implicit, then I have 11 over here, plus 5 is 15, plus 25 is 41 minus fire res, and this is a big damage boost. So these gloves, like just the implicits alone, gave me like quite a massive damage boost because fire exposure with like 40% or so negative fire res, and I won an additional support socket with that was ally damage with attacks for another 33% more damage instead of Ancestral Call. Then I went, bought the Daedon Heavy Belt, which is life, resistance, and ignites with attacks inflict 35% faster. I should actually buy some catalysts now to get this to 42, I think, which is another like 7%. Other than that, skill setup, Stonebrand, Hex Touch, Flammability, Ally Weakness, Whispers of Doom allocated. Then I have Molten Shell on my left click, Leap Slam, faster attacks. Then I have Malevolence, Anger, and Grace. I'm currently not able to get Grace going and Malevolence, okay? The thing is, one of these two, like usually it would be Anger, should be on my Blessing support that I have in my offhand right now. Why can I not use a Blessing? Because it costs like 500 mana, and I currently need to have more energy shield to be able to use this Blessing, which will give me then an additional aura for damage or survivability, whatever at this point I need. And then later on, once I'm able to gain like an Enlightened support, with probably an Anointment, then I can get the 5th aura basically going. So overall, upgrade path-wise, the weapon, some basic gear, then like this thing with the gloves that I just explained with the fire exposure and winning an additional support gem is like huge damage. The belt is fairly cheap for the damage gain that you have, and the next part would be like catalyst or an anointment. And there is one thing that I'm curious about, which might be actually pretty cool, is this one over here, Concussive Force. Ignites from stunning melee hits deal 20% more damage. So now you would wonder like, hey, how you will ever be able to stun an enemy with your like poop actual on-hit damage, since we're a dot build, right? And the reason for that is Ruthless support, because Ruthless blows with supported skills have a base stun duration of 0.8 seconds. So I don't know if this actually works the way, because only a very minor little stun, even if it's like a millisecond of a stun, the resulting ignite would be 20% more damage. Not increased, more damage. And hit stun as though dealing 50% more melee fire damage. So I think this would be a very strong anoint, or maybe I should consider going over to the Defiled Forces, which I'm still not sure how this exactly works. Refresh duration of Ignite, Chill, and Shock on enemies you curse. These could be all kinds of things. This could be, does a curse on hit ring work? Do I have to manually like hand cast a flammability? Does something like a Stonebrand work with a Hex Touch? Does maybe an Arcanist brand work with the thing, right? But therefore, I still have to like kind of guarantee this Ruthless Infernal Blow explosion with 6 stacks setup. And since I decided to not play the controlled Blaze support for now, because I'm not doing Uber bosses or anything like that, so only the map boss survives longer than maybe 4 seconds if I'm unlucky, or there is like some certain map modifier. So I'm thinking like, what if I just stack more and more attack speed, making the playstyle a lot smoother? Even though attack speed will not increase my damage, it will still inflict this like getting the 6 hits out for the explosion from Infernal Blow with Ruthless attached a lot smoother and faster. And as I said, with the desynchronization of getting like stunned while attacking, or maybe even you're attacking, you have 4 hits, 5 hits, and then you actually like cancel your attack with like moving around because you want to dodge something, a volatile or something like that. This would basically reset like the stacks, because after 0.8 seconds the monster will explode no matter how many stacks it has on, right? There is a little bit of a weird point here. I think damage so far is super fine. But we do have a lack of survivability, and I don't know exactly how I'm gonna fix that, because we are a witch, we don't really have any armor nodes whatsoever. Would probably have to go to the left side. The thing with the chest, which is the incandescent heart, would only be effective if I have capped chaos res, and even better if I have divine flesh. I haven't checked yet, but usually divine flesh jewels cost like a divine or so, you know, and then I still have to buy better gear to fit in capped chaos resistance on top of getting maximum chaos resistance. The incandescent heart would actually make me squishier if I don't have divine flesh and max chaos res. The next thing might be getting more armor value out of it, but the problem here is that I want to have an evasion base for the spell suppression rolls, but that means if I go evasion armor, I will never have enough energy shield to be able to run, what do you say, a blessing, because I needs like 500 mana, even with inspiration support, to get down the mana cost. And if I go, as I said, like energy shield and evasion rating for the, as I said, hybrid for rolling spell suppression, I'm not gonna have enough armor. So I think the best solution would be getting nodes like physical damage taking as fire damage, or any elemental damage, or even better as chaos damage once you have like your chaos res capped, and just trying to mitigate things like that. Flask setup would be the next big upgrade, maybe even a Taste of Hate, because of 15% of physical damage taken as a cold damage. And I think like all of these issues with like being melee and maybe like I'm not really getting one-shotted often, but I do have a lack of sustain, because Leech, for life gain on hit, and for Leech, I'm having like so low attack speed. Leech is always an option, but at the moment I decided to go for a Recube cluster with the Recube effects instead of Cure over 3 seconds. That kind of made it better. I'm currently level 86, and as I said, now starting to push into the high tier maps. And we're gonna see what is necessary. I'm still having like 78 chaos left over from certain cells that I had from my quad tabs, or yeah, from my dump tabs, and certain other items that I've replaced over time. So I have a bit of currency that I could fix maybe my flasks, or maybe getting alternate quality gems early on, or maybe getting my first cluster jewel, or, you know, we're gonna see tomorrow once I start grinding on if I'm able to push into the high tier maps, how bad is it, or what do I have to do, am I dying, is my damage bad, and then adjust the build accordingly. Alright guys, thanks for tuning in, thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.